No problem.
Hey, what did it mean to you for this season to be rebooted? I mean, you have an awful lot riding on this season. Can you tell us a little bit about how important it was for this to come back for you?
Yeah, definitely. With it being my senior season, I'm just grateful I get another opportunity to strap up the pads and just practice and play on October 24th. It's been a while, so I'm extremely excited for sure.
All right. John Sauber. Sorry, there you go.
Hey, Tariq, what corners have stood out to you across the field from you as those guys sort of battle to start alongside you this fall?
Yeah, I think just all the big four freshmen. You got Joey in there, you got Keaton, Marquise, and also Dede. They're doing a good job of just attacking practice every day. I try to motivate them and tell them, you can't really lose a step or lose a day with just how many days we've missed. So they've done a great job of just attacking practice and responding well. So just a big four. I think they're going to have a huge year.
Rich Garcella.
Tariq, did you ever consider opting out during this whole last few months where you didn't know whether there was going to be a season or not? And if you did, what was the factor in you deciding to stay?
I mean, there was some thought into it just with everything going on due to COVID and everything like that. But other than that, I'm just super happy to just be back. We're playing now. We're all excited. So that's kind of in the past. So, of course, there was a thought, but just the main thing is just being with my brothers again. I graduate in the fall as well. So them are the two main things that kind of kept me here.
John Petitioner.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Hey, good morning, Tariq. Thanks for the time today.
No problem.
Hey, I wanted to ask, what's it been like to work with Terry Smith? How knowledgeable is he, and kind of what are maybe some of the biggest lessons you've learned from working with him?
Yeah, I mean, Coach T comes in every day trying to motivate us, doesn't let us slip up, doesn't let us take a day off. He's super detailed in the small things, and he just knows how to motivate a person to want to go hard. Like, I want to play hard for Coach T. I think the good things he does is definitely, I mean, the things I've learned is definitely like off the field things of just calling a spade, always being truthful, always telling the person how you feel so there's no gray area. So that's probably the biggest lesson I really learned from Coach T.
All right. Greg Pickle.
Hey, Tariq, how you doing today?
How you doing?
Doing well. Thanks so much for your time. I'm curious your thoughts on how the pass defense was able to find ways to improve with the extended offseason and extra film study, and then how have you seen that translate to the field through the first handful of practices here?
Yeah, I think the first thing that comes to mind is just jug work. As far as interceptions, because I know we had a couple drop picks last year, so we all been trying to get a lot of jug work, and it's translating in practice as well. So, and then just working on our pass coverage, especially for us DBs. I think we've played man more tighter this year. Coach Pry has been doing a good job of just calling things in practice so we can try things out, trying different techniques, trying new leverages, things like that. So I think we're coming along real well.
Ben Free.
Hi, Tariq. Just how have you seen Lamont grow, just both on and off the field in his time here at Penn State?
Yeah, I think he's grown into a leader for our defense. He's a guy you can go to about anything. He brings the energy to practice when there's no energy for the defense as well. And then off the field, I think he's just grown into just a great guy. You know, that's one of my best friends. So a guy I can lean on and kind of look towards to for anything on or off the field. So
let's go to Mark Brennan.
Tariq, are there some young receivers that we should keep an eye out for, especially some of the kids who came in recently?
Yeah. I think one name probably that comes to mind is there's two. I think Keandre, he's been doing a great job of just competing overall. Even for a freshman, he's out there competing. And then Parker Washington, I think he's going to be nice in the slot, make things shake, catch the ball. He's fast, he's strong. So them kind of the two guys that I think have stood out as far as the young guys for sure.
Elton Hayes.
Hey, Tariq, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Hey, if I remember correctly, you and Sean roomed together last year, right?
Yeah, that's my roommate.
He's still this year?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this, how is he kind of, you've been able to watch him, you've had a bird's eye view of him growing to taking that starting position at quarterback last year, going through the ups and downs, building up his confidence. What difference do you see in him now as having that year under his belt, taking over the team opposed to last year? How has he grown and how has his confidence level kind of jumped up in your opinion?
Well, I think his confidence kind of comes from how hard he works. He's one of the hardest working guys on our team. I think the thing that kind of sets him apart from other people is just he has a routine and he sticks to his routine every single day. Like he doesn't weather. If he's feeling tired, he's still going to go throw some passes or watch X amount of film or whatever it may be. Like he's real routine based. It gets to me because like I see him kind of doing things, so I'm like I gotta go do something too. So, yeah.
Rich?
Tariq, how much did the injury last year affect you? How does it feel to be healthy? And third, what do you guys as cornerbacks have to do to limit the number of big pass plays this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, I think the injury was the injury. It's just some things that happen. I'm not going to say how much it affected me, but because to me, there's like no excuses. I still was on the field and things like that. But obviously it kind of, I wouldn't say hindered things, but it's just the way life goes, I think. So I'm not mad about it. And I feel fine right now. Flying around, I feel great. I'm feeling better than ever. And you said things limit the big plays, right? I think it just comes down to simple communication. Because if you've seen a lot of them big plays, it's probably a person out of spot or whatever it may be. So I'm really trying to emphasize, and the leaders on our defense trying to emphasize just always communicating. Like as long as, for me, it would be the will and the that free safety or that strong safety, that free safety. If we're on the same page, then everything's cool. But when one person's off that page, that's when kind of the big plays happen because there's either a hole in the zone or maybe the safety is not over top or whatever it may be. So just communication is the biggest thing that can eliminate big plays.
Gabe?
Hey, Tariq, hope you're doing well. What are some of the things you learned from your former teammate, John Reed, and how do you think he impacted the cornerback room?
Yeah, I think the one thing I learned since I'm a senior now is just to go hard in everything I do, whether it be like last year, John Reed would do indies and he's just trying to route everybody up. We do blocking drills. He's trying to block everybody. He's doing tackling drills. So just bringing that intensity every day and trying to prove like each and every day why I'm the starter. And that's kind of the main thing. And just his film study, y'all know he's a film junkie. I talked to him a couple weeks ago and he's telling me about how the NFL is and how much film he even watches there. So he's giving me some insight on the NFL and just he's been a person I can lean on too.
Justin?
Tariq, thanks for doing this today. So, when you, as a defense, when you guys lose a guy like Micah, obviously you're going to have guys that step up into bigger roles.
Yeah.
One of them is likely going to be Jesse Lucchetta. How confident are you that he's going to be able to, step up into that role and really work well with your defense this year?
Super confident. I love Micah. We miss him and things like that, but he's doing things that's best for him and his family. But as far as Jesse, I think over this quarantine, he turned into kind of a different person, transformed his body. He knows all three positions, so he can play all three positions. So I think he's knowledgeable, and I trust him 100% to go get the job done. So,
Mark Brennan.
You touched on it earlier a little bit, Tariq, but can you go into some detail on Joey Porter and kind of the unique physical package and skill set that he brings to the table?
Yeah. Talking about his arms. I mean, I think he has like 35-inch arms. So when he presses, he kind of like can just touch you from afar. And I just tell him, like, let that be the icing on the cake. Like, always work on your technique, and then your arms is always going to be there. He has speed. He's like 200 pounds. I mean, he got it all. So he's just going to keep growing and keep growing. But the sky's the limit, definitely, for Joey.
All right, let's do Elton Hayes.
Hey, Tariq, I want to ask you about a couple of the younger guys on the linebacker unit, Brandon Smith, Lance Dixon. We spoke with Brandon earlier. He was kind of telling me that, he's getting used to the playbook was one of the biggest adjustments from, coming in as a freshman and playing all 13 games. And, since you all have been back on campus, since in June, what's been the energy from Lance and from Brandon? And, what have you kind of noticed about them and picked up from them in just, these couple of months?
Yeah. I think they're both physical guys. Speed is kind of thing that comes to my mind. They're both big guys, but they're both running 4.5s, 4.4s. They fly to the ball. I think, the playbook is probably the biggest thing for them, just to keep going through it. Because even for me, when I was a freshman, like, you can know the playbook, but until you get out there and they go to empty, they're switching, they're doing all their checks where you have to think but also play fast, because you always can know it. But when adjustments come up, that's when you got to know it. So I think that's the biggest growth for them, is just keep diving in that playbook. But they've been doing a great job in practice so far.
Rich Garcella?
Tariq, the NCAA announced in the summer that it's going to allow players to wear patches to express something about social justice. I was just wondering, what would you like to wear a new uniform if given that opportunity?
Yeah. I think I got to put a little bit more thought into that, whether it be like a word like equality, justice, or even just a name of someone who just something happened to around my area or whatever it may be. But I think I got to put a little bit more thought into it so it's special. So every time I go out there, it gives me another reason to kind of play hard. In that fourth quarter when things are wherever it may be, dig deep. So just got to put a little bit more thought into it before I say.
Dustin?
Hey, Tariq. There were some struggles or some issues in pass defense in the second half of last season. What would you say, like, where those issues came from, and what have you guys been doing specifically to try to address those things and to try to make them so they're non-issues to start this year?
Yeah. I think I said it. I think the biggest thing is just communication, especially as far as passing. When you're playing all them zones and things like that, you got to call out routes. Everybody has to be in the right spot, and you got to trust that the person next to you is going to be in that spot. And then we've just really been emphasizing communication in practice. Like the first group, we're just talking. Anything that happens, I'm yelling out something. Jesse's yelling out something. Brizzy is yelling out something. So when we fix that and it's getting fixed and we're improving, like, you just trust the man next to you, and just that's the main thing, I think. Just communication in general, for sure.
Mark Brennan?
Tariq, I'm not sure if this would have impacted you as much as maybe Coach Pry, but when you bring in Coach Shiraka, were you guys able to pick anything up from him about how they were able to kind of attack you last year, and how good is it to have him on your side now?
Yeah, I believe the coaches have talked to him about kind of the things he's seen in our defense and how he kind of attacked us. But Coach Shiraka is like, that's my guy. Like, even though he's on the offensive field and on the offensive side, like, when he sees you, he speaks to you every time. He brings the energy that the offense needs. He's talking trash to us, trying to joke around, making it real light but still competitive. So he brings a great energy every day. And I know he makes the offense want to go harder. So having Coach Soraka here is great.
Joe, did you have a question at all? Get you there. Good to go.
Hello, Tariq. Good morning. Thanks for doing this. I just wondered what it was. When did you come back to Penn State after the quarantine was lifted, and what's it been like since you got back?
I've been here the whole time since June when we got back, and I just been trying to stay around and be a leader. It's my 4th year, so things is kind of different. Things have been great. I mean, the training staff, the coaches, the players, all of us have just been doing a great job of just adjusting to the new norm, wearing masks and things like that. Obviously, it's different, but you got to accept the things that come. So I've been enjoying all of this.
Mark?
You talked about Tariq, Coach Soraka talking some trash. Is there anything specific that you can tell us about that that people may find kind of funny? Because we haven't gotten to know him.
I don't know if I can remember anything specific because it's a lot of like slick stuff that he'll come over and say to you, or he'll joke around. I mean, I don't know how y'all see him, but I think he has like some charisma to him that you wouldn't expect. He's a real funny guy, but he also brings that passion. And like when he talks, I feel like everyone wants to listen to him. Like he has that kind of command over his offense, and also people on the defense. Like we want to hear what he has to say because we just know he's a knowledgeable guy, and everything he says is going to be truth, and it's going to be something that we need to hear. So,
yeah.
Tariq, I wonder what have you seen in the wide receiver core, and especially the 2 young guys, Jones and Dunmore?
Yeah. I mean, I think them guys are just coming out to practice and just competing. I mean, as a team, we're competing harder than ever. We're just hungry to be out there. It's been so long. And them 2 young guys, I think they're doing a good job too. Overall, just attacking the ball, catching everything that's getting thrown to them, just fighting, listening as well to all the older guys in their room as far as Jahan, DG, Cam, guys like that. So I think they're all doing a great job.
Mark?
Tariq, when you talked about Joey Porter and the long arms, could you explain for people who don't play defensive back why that's important and how you kind of go about using that skill?
I mean, I think first of all, it's just when he comes up to the line, it's kind of the first thing you kind of notice, and I know a receiver is going to notice it. I think it's just important because in the jam, like he doesn't need to be like he could be far away and still jam you, and then you got other guys who kind of have to play closer or have to use more feet. But press man is kind of his lane just because his arms are so long and he kind of can touch you. And then when he plays off, you see guys kind of like try to work around him just because he can literally just, I'm here. So, yeah, that's a huge asset for him. And he just has to keep building on the little details and little things in our technique and fundamentals. But, yeah.
Joe?
Tariq, how concerned were you that there would not be a season, and what was your sense of relief when it turned out there would be one?
Yeah, of course I was bummed out. I was sad just because I didn't have a senior season, and tried to figure out some logistics on things that was next and trying to figure out things like that. But through talking to Coach T and Coach Franklin and my mom and some people I look up to, kind of had a calm head about it and just you gotta deal with it. But man, to just be back in, because we haven't strapped on pads since the Cotton Bowl. That's that's a long time to me. So just to be able to put my helmet on again, just to compete, that's what we kind of live for, especially here. So I'm super glad to be back.
Mark, just noticed too, we have the 5-minute warning came across. So.
So what was the first couple days like for you, Tariq? I mean, you said you hadn't put on the pad since the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
What was it like?
I mean, I think you never forget, like, of course it felt the pads, like, to put it on again. It was, I'm not gonna say strange, but it's kind of like weird because I'm finally doing it again. But once we started getting in the groove of just being physical and getting back to how we normally practice and normally play, I mean, it's like second nature. So, yeah, it's just what we do, you know?
Yeah.
And how did you get through that as far as conditioning and physicality?
Yeah, I think we're all conditioned. The strength staff has been doing a great job of just implementing little things after practice or being at the workout or whatever it may be. And just the physicality, I mean, I think that's just in you, honestly. Like, you can learn how to be physical, but once you strap on them pads, you can't kind of fake being physical. Like, it's either you are or you aren't. So that's something I kind of pride myself in throughout the years. Just keep growing on my physicality, just playing in the Big Ten. We play against big receivers, big tight ends, big running backs. So physicality is something Coach T kind of stresses at corner. Like, we're not going to take anything from nobody. We're going to just stand your ground and just be physical. So Coach T kind of, you got to be physical or he call you out.
Mark?
What would you have done? Did you give it any thought if they had pushed the season back to the spring or up to the spring, I guess, however you would say? Because, I mean, you would have had a decision to make, prepare for the draft or play.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I didn't really get far deep in the plan just because I was hearing different things and still trying to, like, literally after I heard that the season was going to be canceled, I kind of like stepped away from all the outside noise. I just tried to focus on my schoolwork, focus on keep training, keep staying ready. And then whenever that decision would have came, then it would have been that decision. But I'm just happy we get to play in the fall and football is back. So.
Yeah.
Tariq, describe what this year means to you. I mean, this is your ticket to the next level. What goes through your head, you know, making sure that you're totally prepared to have a great season and show the scouts your stuff?
Yeah. Of course, it's a huge year for me. Just with it being my senior year, you know, I played a lot of football here since freshman year. So just trying to leave my legacy, leaving my stamp, and trying to create my own legacy as well. And then I think the biggest thing for me is I just gotta attack practice every day, go hard, and literally anything I do, I try to go 110% because everything kind of translates. And I think everything's just gonna catch up when it catches up to you. So if I don't do this right, it might not affect me now, but who knows when it's gonna affect me. So I try to always pay attention to the small details now, within my press, within just knowing the defense, knowing the scheme, keep reviewing my playbook. Like, I know it now, but now I'm just trying to make sure I know it. Like, there's no question. I know what everyone's doing. I think just doing them things, everything else is going to take care of itself. Like, I'm not worried about the league or trying to impress scouts or whatever it may be, because if I just play the ball I know I can play and prepare every day, listen to my coaches, take care of my body, like, what's down that road is going to be down that road. So I'm just trying to stay present and just work hard. Like, that's kind of my MO right now.
Mark?
Hey, this is my last question, so thank you, Mark, and thank you, Tariq. But Tariq, tell us what it's kind of meant to you to see John Reid do what he's done at that next level, to go and make an impact so soon.
Yeah, I mean, John Reid has been here, I think he was here every year I was here, so since my freshman year, and he's just a guy I've always looked up to, just with his work ethic, just with his feet at the line of scrimmage. You know, his feet is crazy. And I just talked to him, like, he just told me, Reek, like, listen, like, Penn State, we ballers. Like, when you come here, like, just work hard. Like, we know how to ball. We know how to pay attention to the details. We know how to work hard. So that's kind of things that he's doing right now. And I'm not surprised at all that he's kind of having the success he is, because he puts in so much work. He watches so much film. He's always prepared. And that's kind of things I want to emulate in my game as well. Just always being prepared, ready, working hard every day, not taking days off, and not taking the little things for granted within the details. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at all he's doing what he's doing.